Hello all. In order to make our visualization in a better way, we are exploring different concepts of Tableau. In the last session, we discussed about the sets which helped us to, specifically create a set that can actually help us to do a better visualization and also to get an answer from the visualization very easily. Sets was something which was useful. In the same way, there is one more concept called as grouping in Tableau. So grouping is something which you normally use in our day-to-day activities. So the reasons why you will be using grouping in your normal day-to-day activities is that, say for example, like you are a class teacher for some class, and you always wanted to find out who are the students who is above average and who are the students who is below average and who are the students which is there in the average students there as average students. And this grouping you generally do it to identify which or who is the set of students who is basically falling into the category of average students, and then to do a comparison between the best students and the average students. And the whole idea is that what you're trying to do is that you try to put few elements together so that these few elements could be compared with other elements which is there in the whole lot. So that's the reason why generally we will be making use of something called as a grouping. And this grouping is something which is unavoidable in many situations. Okay. So this is the reason why you will be grouping the elements in your day-to-day scenario. And this kind of scenario could happen even in your visualization also. So in your visualization, suppose for example, I'll show you the example when I'm showing you the demo, you can understand it better. But then if you wanted to, compare a particular region's sales with two other regions, if you wanted to do a comparison like this, what you need to do is that you need to first of all group these two other regions so that you can perform the comparison. So this is the whole idea of why we are going for something called as a group. So formally, how do I say what is grouping? Grouping is nothing but you will adopt a method for what? To put the items of your choice in your same place. Okay, so you have selected some items and you wanted those selected items to be accommodated in a same place. So if you wanted to achieve that, what you're doing is that you're basically going to use the concept called as grouping. Now, what we need to concentrate on is that we need to, of course, concentrate on how we can perform the grouping in Tableau. There are multiple ways that you can use it for performing grouping in Tableau. Some of the things that you can explore to find how grouping can be done in a Tableau means you can actually perform the grouping by a header, which is the easiest method, or otherwise you can perform the grouping by data window, or otherwise you can even create a hierarchy, and from the visual grouping itself you can perform a grouping. Okay, visualization you can perform a grouping. So these are different methodologies that you can adopt if you wanted to group some elements in your Tableau. Okay, so now it's time for us to go to Tableau and then understand how all of these four things is done basically. So let's get inside our Tableau environment. So this is our Tableau environment as we know, and the data that we are using is the same global superstore data. And what we are going to do right now is that I'm just going to put this market in my rows, and then I'm going to put my sum of the sales in my columns. Okay, so let me just put the sales in my columns. Okay, I've put my sum of sales in the columns. Okay, so what you can see here is these are the sales and these are the cities. Okay, so Africa has got this much sales and APAC has got this much sales. This is there with us. Now what we wanted to do is that I just wanted to group this Africa and APAC together. Okay, and then do a comparison with other things. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do it. So if I have to group these Africa and APAC together, what should I do it? Okay, so I can do it by header, the first option, as I told you. So just what you need to do is that just click on it. Okay, so whichever you want it, just hold a control in your keyboard and then just click on it. You get this option, right? So this is what is the symbol to denote your grouping members. So just click on this group members. Okay, so it is actually what happened. You see here, what has happened is that under your market dimension, basically it has created a group called as market group. Okay, so let me just remove this and let me just put this market group here. Okay, so now what you can see here is that I just wanted to do a comparison between this Africa and APAC and other things, right? So what I have done is Africa and APAC is being grouped together as a single group and the others are displayed here. Okay, so I can perform my comparisons easily, and this is the concept of grouping if you have to do it using your header. So this is the simplest way which you can follow to perform the grouping. Okay, so this is one way. Let me show you the next way. I'm just dropping out everything. Okay, I'm just dropping out everything. Yeah. So now the next way is that you can actually have a grouping by the data window itself, right? So for example, I'm again going to use this sales as in my columns. And then for the rows, I'm just going to keep my subcategory. Okay, so now what I wanted to do is that these are the subcategories which is available with me. Now I just wanted to group certain items together and then compare it with some one element or some other element. I just wanted to do a comparison. So the basic idea is I just wanted to group maybe for example accessories, appliances and the art. All three things I wanted to group together. Okay, so how I can do this means, again you do a selection here. Okay, and then go to subcategory here. Okay, so here you will not find the option. Okay, rather you need to go to your data pane here and then click on this arrow mark and then you have create. Then you have an option called as group. Just click on that. Then you will get the dialog box like this. So this automatically will be created a subcategory of group. It just creates a subcategory of group. And then you have to select which are the items that you wanted to group. Unless and until you do not select the items, this all these options is going to be disabled. So now what you can do is that I just wanted to select accessories, appliances, and art, right? So these are the three elements that I wanted to group it. So I can just go ahead and click on group. Okay, so now you can see here, this is the name of the group that is being created here. Okay, so now I mean by default it will take the combination of all of these fields and then it will give it as a name for the group. Okay, so instead of this, if I will write it as sales group, this is the name that I wanted to give it. So this will be created as a sales group. Okay, done. That's all. Okay, so in case, like, you know, this is the group that you wanted to create. In case if you have forgotten to add some kind of fields in the group, then you can also do it like, you know, include other and then click on this option and then you can put it in the group. Okay, so that way also you can perform it. Okay, so that's the one more idea that I wanted to give you. All right, so now the grouping is there. Suppose you wanted to find some element, like, you know, copiers is the element that I wanted to find out. So your cursor will automatically go here. Okay, so that it will be easy for you to select the corresponding field and then add it to your subgroup. Okay, so this is the way you can actually make use of groups from the data pane window. Okay, so now we have this subcategory. Let me just put this subcategory here. Okay, and then yeah, so let me just put the subcategory here. Now what happens is that, okay, let me just remove this one and I'm going to put the subcategory here. Okay, so now what you can see is that there are two things that I created, right? Binders was one group I created, and then the sales group, which was a combination of these three things, and that is compared with the others. Okay, so this is the way it has created our group. Okay, so this is one more way that you can make use of grouping, and this is the way you can create the group from your data pane. Okay, I hope you got an idea on how you can actually do the grouping from header as well as from the data pane. Okay, so now just I'm dropping all of these things, and there are one more thing that you can do is that you can actually perform some kind of hierarchies. Okay, say for example there is a category here, and inside this category I just wanted to, I'll remove this group also. Okay, I removed this. So this is my subcategory here. Now I wanted this subcategory to appear as, it you wanted to put this somewhere in your category field. Okay, so let's drag it. Okay, and then yeah, so just drop it here. Okay, so it'll ask you for whether you wanted to create a hierarchy. Yes, click on this hierarchy. You can understand that now it is under your city, the subcategory is there. So if I will you know this drag it will give the city and the subcategory. So this is how you can actually create your hierarchy. So you can just drag and drop for performing the kind of analysis that you wanted to do it along with the city and the subcategory. So, and this icon that you see, right, that is what denotes your hierarchy. Now I'm just removing my hierarchy as well. Okay, and this also I'm removing it. So this is one more way that you can actually create your hierarchies and work with and you can use it to analyze the data. And another thing that you can do is that from the visual itself, you can group the elements. Okay, so how we can do this? Let's do that. Okay, let me take my sales itself. So instead of sum of sales, the measure that I'm going to use is average of sales. So I have my average of sales. Then probably I will have uh, um, profit. I'll have it here. And then for the profit also, let me take the measure as average of profit. And then maybe I'll put down my subcategory here so that my visualization will become more uh, relevant. So let me just put the subcategories here. So you can see that there are different scatter plots is available. So if you want, you can do the coloring part also. And you can see this is the subcategory which is there. Now what I wanted to do is that I just wanted to group certain elements from this visualization. So directly go to the visualization, just select it, you get the option here. So 6 items has been selected. Just click on group the members. Okay, so already the members is being created, and you can see that you will see only 2 colors. Okay, so this is one group and this is another group, and then if you wanted to do a comparison, you can easily, very easily you can perform it from the visualization itself. Okay, so this is one more way which you can use it for creating your group. Anyways, for with all of these grouping concept, definitely it helps us to ease the process of data visualization, in fact. And I showed you almost all the steps that you have to perform using these 4 options. With these 4 options, you can actually do the grouping and then you can work with the grouping. Hope you got an idea that grouping is something which is going to save a lot of time in terms of comparison, at least, because you can put the similar elements together in one place and then you do a comparison with the other elements more easily with the idea of grouping. So you got an idea on what is the meaning of grouping. uh, that's all for this session. I'll see you in the next session where we will speak about drilling down the hierarchies and etc. So thank you.